They're just like
my mother will
Cindy Dole here. Hope you're having a great Saturday, even though it is a little chilly-willy out there. But we're trying to keep you warm here, Home Wizards, as we do every Saturday, to talk about all things home, garden, and life improvement. And with me is a guy who's all about the garden, Lance Walheim, who's written so many books, and including Roses for Dummies. And he also is a spokesperson for Baird Vance with all the great tips to make those roses bloom and just stay bug-free. So thanks for hanging out with us, Lance Walheim. So tell us, Lance, in terms of gifts for the gardener, I'm guessing the roses would be a good start. The American Bandstand Dick Clark Rose, right?
Right.
And Walking on Sunshine. But what else would be some fun things to kind of surprise that gardener that's on our shopping list?
You know what I think is a great gift is to give somebody a membership to a plant society.
Oh.
There's plant societies for just about every plant out there. But, one of the very best is the American Rose Society, which is at ars.org. And you can get a membership to that really reasonably. They've got some trial memberships going on now, and you get a magazine, plus you get a guide to selecting roses, which combines all the expertise of American, the society members. So that's a great one. But you know what else I love to give people is I love to give people a really high quality gardening tool.
Mm-hmm.
So you can go out and get a really good shovel or something like that also. But there are some really good catalogs out there where you can really get some neat stuff. I'm thinking of A.M. Leonard is one, Napa Valley, or actually, what is it, Wildflower Seed Company. Have you ever heard of a hori hori?
No.
A hori hori is Japanese for dig, and it's a Japanese gardening tool. It's kind of half trowel, half weeder, half planter, but it's like a narrow trowel, and on one side it has a serrated edge on it that's very sharp, so that when you're weeding or when you're digging, you can actually cut through roots, or you can even use it almost as a saw. And I got that as a gift last year, and I just absolutely love it. So that's one thing you can do. But, and of course, there's so many great gardening magazines. Garden Design magazine is one of my favorites.
Yes, love that.
Yeah, and so, that's a subscription. There's so many great lawn games, bocce ball. Give somebody a bocce ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and if you Google lawn games, you'll find out all these wonderful things that, get people out in the backyard.
Do you have any favorite gardening apps or anything digital that would kind of help us lay out our garden and just dream about what we want it to be?
That's a great question. I don't have any favorites, to be honest with you. I know there are a number of ones. We were talking earlier about some of the water departments, and some of them have tools on the web that you can help you design a garden.
And Sunset Magazine, sunset.com, they always have some good ones there, I think.
Yeah, they sure do, and they have a plant finder there, so that's a great place to do.
To kind of start your dreaming. And what about just a gardening gift basket? You can baskets for anything, but just kind of load up this thing, and you can even use the basket, make it a planter, and then fill it up with things.
Exactly right. Mm-hmm. It's just you could put together all the vegetable seeds that people are going to need, maybe some transplants, a good trowel, a pruning tool. Everybody always needs a good set of pruning shears. You can have a blast at any garden center or nursery just putting together. That's a great idea.
And what about a gardening journal? I always love just to kind of make notes. We do this throughout the house, whether it's just our home maintenance chores too. I have a folder, a 3-ring binder with I use these sheet protectors and cut out magazine pictures and things. And I go, speaking of garden design, boy, I wish I had that kind of a front yard or backyard. And so I kind of use that as a dreaming place. And
That's
then
a great idea.
Yeah.
It's so important when you're going through the magazines to do exactly that. When you see something that really looks good, cut out the picture and say, I could try this in my yard. And also as a gardener, it's so important that you keep records of when you planted and what kind of problems you had, so that you can see maybe what's coming down the road and be ready to tackle it. So Garden Journal is a great gift.
Mm-hmm. And also, I love the whole idea of creating personalized anythings, and one of them is using chalk paint. Have you ever done this, where you use chalk paint on a terracotta pot?
No, I haven't.
And then you can just paint it. In fact, you can even have chalk paint customized to whatever color you like. You can go to your favorite hardware store; they'll mix it up, or you can mix it yourself. But basically, I did it with a kind of a deep gray as opposed to the standard black, and then you let it dry, and then you can use regular chalk, school chalk, and then when you would use that to then label what goes in that pot, whether it's your herbs and your veggies or whatever.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to try that out.
So you could give people that and then some seeds, and there's a Merry Christmas.
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back, I have a few more questions for you. A lot of us are buying little things either to give to others or keep ourselves. You see it like the Trader Joe's run. You get the little miniature pine plant, or the rosemary bush, or the chrysanthemum, and I want you to help us with how to keep that alive for a few more days. All right. Okay. You're listening to Home Wizards, Cindy Dole. We're going to take a quick traffic break, but don't you go away because the fun continues right here on KFWB. Hey, Cindy Dole here. We are rocking it out here on Home Wizards, having some fun as we count our way to Christmas, right? How's your stress right now? I'm trying not to hyperventilate. I have a few more things to do. But, there's always those little cute gifties that you see, whether it's Trader Joe's or your local grocery store, whatever. It's a nice little living thing. And you go, that'd be the perfect little pick-me-up. Maybe it's for your home or to give to someone. But what are the chances of that living and not screwing it up? Lance Walheim, gardening guru and all-around great guy. Lance, have you fallen in that trap where you buy that little rosemary bush and then, uh-oh?
Yeah, I sure have. Well, people have to realize that the conditions in a home, it's so dry compared to where these plants have been grown that, with any kind of living plant, whether it's a rosemary, whether it's a living tree, living Christmas tree, small or big one, you should really plan on only keep it indoors for 7 to 10 days probably at the most, and then try to get it back outside if you want to keep it living. And then take it outside slowly. Don't put it right out in the sunshine. Put it out in some shade or some partial shade and gradually move it out into the conditions. Then if you've got one of these small trees and you're thinking about planting it outdoors, check in the Sunset Western Garden book. Make sure it's adapted to your climate first. Otherwise, you're going to create problems. Some of these trees get huge. And while you do have them indoors, do whatever you can to increase the humidity around them. Misting or keeping them on a tray of rocks that has some water in it. Make sure you water properly and frequently because a lot of times they're in very lightweight soil mixes and they dry out extremely quickly. Keep them away from heater vents, drafts, and try to give them as much light as you possibly can.
I mean, these things are they're in the refrigerator section of the store. I mean, when you go to the grocery store and you see this beautiful succulent wreath or the poinsettia or the rosemary bush, I mean, it's in a cold setting. Yeah, and then you bring it home to your furnace.
That's right, and a lot of these have been grown in very humid conditions in greenhouses.
So it's all over the place.
Yeah, and so it's a difficult situation. The best advice is to get them back outside as quick as you can if you can save them.
Okay. And so what about the succulent wreaths that I think are just so darn gorgeous?
Those are wonderful. I mean, there isn't a better plant that's adapted to growing in that kind of condition than a succulent because they're just tough as nails. So, you can keep those. I know people who have had their, kept them year after year. You want to make sure you get them watered. You want to make sure that you give them a little bit of fertilizer every once in a while. Don't overwater. That's the key thing. Keep them in a place where they're not going to get burnt by direct sunshine. And you can keep them going for quite a while. And then, of course, you'll have to do them a little bit of trimming because they're going to grow more and more as they go on. You may want to even put them in a little bit of pot so they've got some soil to root in. And then next year, trim them back a little bit if you've got some holes. Use some of the cuttings you've had to fill in.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be seeing you just a little bit here at the Tournament of Roses Parade.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to see what the Bear Advance float looks like, and actually we've got the video from the construction of last year's float on there, so they can see that at bearadvance.com. Awesome,
awesome. Well, thanks so much, Lance Walheim. You have a Merry Christmas, and I'll be seeing you before you know it. So thanks for giving us some great, great tips.
Thanks, Cindy.
Good gardening ideas, too. Great gardening gifts. All right, well, coming up next Saturday, hey, speaking of Christmas, I'm going to spend Christmas afternoon with you, and I hope you spend it with me. After all the presents are opened and you've had some food, and maybe you still have that last holiday party, we're going to tend to those entertaining needs and help you also get ready for those 2011 home dreams so they come true. What you could put on your list of to-dos, how to get organized for the new year, and really make your home sweet home stress-free. You're going, yeah, right. You can do it. Home Wizards this Saturday, Christmas from 2 to 4. So I hope you have a great weekend and a fabulous week. Check out the website, cindydole.com. You can see the video on how to make your own natural wreath, and you can do it with me. The video is right there on the homepage. And follow me on Facebook where we talk about home and garden, fun things throughout the week. So have a good one. I'll be thinking of you. And remember to say hi. And until next Saturday, the key's under the mat. Bye-bye.
There's no time to waste. There's so much to celebrate.